Welcome to Random Topics, the show where we make a half-hearted attempt to infotain you with semi-interesting, unrelated random topics in the categories of arts, science, history, and geography. I'm Mac.
I am Chris.
And today's topics are...
In arts, Madmo.
In science, Luigi Galvani.
In history, the United States Postal Service.
And in geography, Tar Heel, North Carolina. We'll jump into these topics in a minute, but first, what are we drinking, Chris?
Well, today we are drinking the lovely Beer to Drink Music Tea, which is the official beer of Record Store Day. It's a Belgian-style ale. They use orange peels and cardamom and some other things. It's brewed in Milton, Delaware by Dogfish Head.
Should we try it?
We should try it. And we can decide if in the future when we're drinking music, if this will be our beer of choice.
When we're drinking music?
Yeah, because it's like an experience. It's like you're drinking it.
Oh, yeah, like into your soul.
Yeah, or maybe you're just confused because you've had too many.
Wow.
No? I believe their motto is something like... I don't remember. It's something about how their beer is weird.
Oh, well, good story.
I'm going to talk about Madmo.
I'm sorry?
Madmo.
Is that M-A-D-M-O?
Yes.
Okay.
So, in May 2006, there was a performance at the Delancey in New York City. I think it's on the Lower East Side. Not sure. But from that moment on, music was changed. Or not really, actually. Probably no one really knew that this happened. But Norah Jones debuted her side project rock band.
Okay.
You know Norah Jones, right?
I do. I mean, I don't know her.
Not personal,
but
you know of her.
Yeah.
And so they're a band called Madmo.
Okay.
They have stage names. There are three of them. One is Elle, one is Maddie, and one is Mo.
Okay.
And they wear wigs and like...
Wait, so what's Norah Jones's
I
role?
think she's Maddie. And so they performed this show. It was like sort of under the radar, but because it's New York, there were some bloggers there and they blogged about it.
Yeah.
And then in a couple years later, I guess, May 2008, they put out a self-titled album.
Was it Madmo?
Yeah, it's...
Okay.
Yeah, self-titled. On Conor Oberst's Team Love Records. You know Conor Oberst?
No.
From Bright Eyes? That's his other label he does.
Not like that. Emo band?
Sort of emo. Popular among the emo kids.
Don't get into that scene.
I guess they're not kids anymore, they're adults. Female adults.
Yeah, they're probably like 40.
Yeah. My peers.
Yeah.
That's really all I have on that. They have, some songs and I listen to them and, they were fine.
You basically just wanted to let us know that Norah Jones had a side project that released one album.
Yeah, well, I listened to the music and, it's fine. It's kind of tongue-in-cheek. Probably didn't put a lot of...
Yeah. So when did they disband, or are they still
I think that was just the only thing. Like, they put out that album.
They're not still playing shows.
I don't think so.
You missed your chance.
Yeah, and I read that on Norah Jones's Wikipedia page, though, that she sold like 50 million albums worldwide to date. And I was wondering
how many of them are Madmo?
Yeah, like what percentage of those are from this? And I would think that probably a pretty low number. Well, if I ever learned how to play music and then was successful and then decided to do a side project, it would probably be an emo band.
That would be like your main project.
No, my main project would be
children's music.
No, it would be an instrumental, really sad band.
Okay.
Like it would just sound like the soundtrack to a movie where at the end, like everyone gets divorced and then everyone dies.
Okay.
Well, that kind of ended on a lower note than I wanted to, so maybe we should move on there.
Just committed suicide.
Yeah.
Suicide's not funny. It's an epidemic.
Yeah.
It's ruining lives across the nation and the globe.
Yeah.
People die everywhere, not just in this country.
I know, we shouldn't be so focused on... Anyway, what do you have on science?
I want to tell you about Luigi Galvani, who I'm sure you've never heard of.
No.
I think of him, this is just, he's not like known as this, it's just the way I think of him, as being kind of the real life Dr. Frankenstein.
Okay, from the book.
Which you'll understand in a moment. He was a 1700s, that's as precise as I want to be,
Yeah.
Italian physician, physicist, biologist, philosopher, because, back then it's like, everybody was like a jack of all trades, right? It's like Ben Franklin, how many things was that guy?
Like 77.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm a newspaper editor.
Mhm.
I also invented electricity.
Yeah. I'm glad that you brought him up. I'm going to talk about him
Discovered.
soon.
You're going to talk to Ben Franklin?
Talk about him.
Oh, good. I was
Yeah.
about to tell you, I got some bad news, man.
You might send.
He passed.
Yeah.
So, Luigi Galvani, well, first of all, I love that he's an Italian guy named Luigi.
Why?
Because of Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah. But this guy's a scientist. They were just plumbers.
Just plumbers?
Okay, I'm sorry. Plumbers are very important.
How pejorative.
I'm sorry. Plumbers are more important than scientists, actually.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you want your poo to flow away from your house,
Yeah.
right?
We could have no scientific progress, but as long as the toilets and everything are working
Yeah.
and running water, yeah, I'd be much happier.
Yeah. So his claim to fame, and where he made his mark, was he discovered animal electricity. He's a pioneer in bioelectromagnetics, which you may have not even known was a field.
It doesn't sound real. Continue.
So, again, all these things, he's physician, physicist, biologist, philosopher. He was going to be a priest, but then his dad, who happened to be a goldsmith, which I also think is kind of crazy that that's like a thing that people were.
We should bring that back.
His goldsmith dad was like, no, you shouldn't be a priest. That's kind of lame. And he's like, okay, I'll be a surgeon. I feel like it's just not how life works anymore.
I don't know.
So his big discovery was he was in his lab, and his assistant accidentally touched an exposed nerve of a skinned frog leg with a scalpel. And the scalpel had an electric charge, a static electric charge. And so Galvani saw that when the scalpel touched the frog's leg, he saw a spark. And so he knew that it was charged. And then the leg twitched. And he's like, Eureka!
Yeah. But he probably
I discovered bioelectromagnetics.
Yeah.
And so this phenomenon for a long time was called galvanism, after
I've heard of that.
Galvani. But now that's like a very dated term. If you like went into like a bioelectromagnetics class, like in college, and called it galvanism, people would be like,
People might mock me.
how quaint of you.
Yeah.
Certainly you mean electrophysiology.
Yeah.
That's what it's called now.
Thanks for the heads up. You saved me some
Yeah, you
embarrassment
really could have
from my
embarrassed
life.
yourself.
Yeah.
You would have looked like such an idiot.
Yeah, they would have made fun of me. And
Yeah.
would have been sad.
Yeah. Are you gonna tell us anything historical?
Yeah, speaking of Ben Franklin,
You want to talk about Ben Franklin?
not really, but he is related to this.
So when you said that you were gonna talk about Ben Franklin, I didn't know that you meant like next you were gonna talk
Yeah,
about.
I'm literally going to talk
Oh,
about him.
I thought you meant like at some point in the future you're planning.
No,
on doing so. Okay.
because in history there's this thing called the United States Postal Service,
yeah,
which can
I've heard of it.
It's pretty old. It can trace its roots back to 1775,
It's a struggling business, I've heard.
and yeah, maybe they're not having the best of times that they've had.
Well, it couldn't have been called the U.S. Postal Service in 1775.
It was called something else.
There was
But Ben
no
Franklin was like the
United
first postmaster general, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
God, that guy did so much stuff.
Well, what we know as the Postal Service
Mhm.
kind of evolved out of that first incarnation, and in 1792 it became the Post Office Department, I think. And then in 1872 it became a cabinet level department in the U.S. government.
Really?
Yeah.
So at some point it got
Well, it used to be like a big deal.
got demoted.
Because the federal government used to be much smaller, so in the early 19th century,
What?
about 75% of the federal workforce was the postal service. They used steamboats for a while, and then eventually they switched over to railroads, starting in 1832. And I was reading about a few like interesting regulations that they had. So in 1914, a girl, Charlotte May Pierstorff, was mailed by her parents to her grandparents in Idaho. And so then after that happened, they outlawed mailing people.
I'm sorry, a human being was mailed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they were like, well, how are we going to get our daughter to visit her grandparents? Well,
Yeah.
we can just mail her there.
It sounds like a cartoon. Aren't there lots of cartoons where
I
they
don't
like
know.
take a cardboard box and they cut a few holes in it and they ship themselves?
There's a
somewhere?
Velvet Underground song. So yeah, you can't mail people anymore, I guess. Also, there was a guy, W.H. Coulthard, who I guess the rates were pretty low then, so he decided to mail 80,000 bricks to this town in Utah so that he to build some bank or something. And so then after that, there was a limit.
Cheaper than like shipping it by freight.
I guess so.
That's funny.
So then after that, there was a limit of like 200 pounds per customer per day or something like that. Well, there were a lot of other things that happened in the history of the United States Postal Service. I didn't get to all of them because...
Yeah, you haven't said anything about the Pony Express.
Yeah. I wanted to pick things that were a little more obscure.
Yeah.
Because I come from a Postal Service family, so I wanted to pick out...
Do you
something.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
My
that.
grandfather and my uncle both worked for the Postal Service.
Oh, wow. Should we talk about geography?
Yes.
Great. I'd like to tell you about Tar Heel, North Carolina.
I have a question really quickly.
Sure.
What's a Tar Heel?
Nobody knows.
Okay.
No, somebody knows.
Continue.
I think I looked into it one time, but I was drunk, so I don't remember what the
oops.
result was. But yeah, it's a thing.
Okay.
We're talking about a very small town in southern North Carolina on the Cape Fear River, which I think runs through Wilmington. I can't tell you exactly where the town is because I didn't actually look on a map.
Whatever. Maps are just representation.
Well, it might come into play here as I tell you more about it. So it's a very small town of 117 people.
It's very small.
But for some reason, for 117 people, they need 7 churches. Seems kind of like overkill if you like.
Well, there are a lot of denominations. That
You
people
divide
belong
that
to.
out. It's like what, like 13 people per church or something?
Yeah, something like
I
that.
don't know. I just made that up.
15 maybe.
They have a lot of churches. They have 0 African Americans and 0 Asians. But you know what they do have? You don't. What they
Basketball.
No,
fandom.
what they do have is the largest pork slaughter and processing plant in the world. It can, quote, process 32,000 pigs per day.
Is that a euphemism for something?
Yeah, I think it means like kill and skin and cut into little pieces for our delicious enjoyment.
Okay.
It can process 32,000 pigs per day or 176,000 per week. And if you're doing the math, yeah, that's a lot of pigs.
Mhm.
That's like a whole bunch of pigs. Just like semi after semi after semi of pigs. It's almost 1 million square feet, which I can't picture what that looks like or how big that is, but it sounds really big.
It sounds like a large space.
And it has 4,800 workers, which doesn't make any sense to me because it's a town of 117. So it must be that people from all around, the county or whatever work there. They just don't want to live in that crappy town.
Oh.
Sorry if you live there.
It's probably very nice.
Maybe it's nice. Maybe it's as nice as Red Lake County, Minnesota.
Yeah, maybe even nicer. Who
Could be.
knows?
I've never been there, so, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I wouldn't want to live in a place with 117 people, 7 churches, and 0 diversity. All right, well, that's all I got. Do you have any questions on Tar Heel, North Carolina?
I don't. I still don't really know
That's
what,
good. I
because
couldn't
I've seen
answer.
the North Carolina mascot. What is that?
He's like a ram, right?
Yeah, but why is that something?
I don't know.
Okay, anyway.
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. We love you. We value you. We hope that you like us and that you'll come and hang out with us again in season 2. Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much.